It's Bliss Vom Himmel. I know I've been, absent from making videos for the past couple of weeks. The reason for that is because I'm actually working on something. It's more scientific approach to everything that's going on. Right now we are in a very unusual planetary arrangement to where all of the planets are on one side of the solar system. And I think that due to this arrangement, it has caused an increase in, it's obvious, it's caused an increase in earthquakes, volcanic activity, weather changes, etc., etc., etc. I'm actually wanting to see if this is, what I'm researching into is actually seeing if this is what is causing all of this, or if this is actually the quote-unquote end of days. Because I think that, way back in 2000, that's only 18 years ago, everybody thought the world was going to end in 2000. And then in 2012, everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012. So you got all this world-ending apocalyptic, mumbo-jumbo going on. And I'm wanting to actually take a look to see if there's any interactions between the planets that we are experiencing. Because, you look here in labs that if you take two magnets and you can see that they were going to have some type of interaction between one another, and like, okay, for instance, if we do have a large magnetic body that is anywhere around us, it's going to be interacting with our magnetosphere. It's going to be interacting with our core, which could be acting as a resistor. That's the reason why your electronics get hot, is because the electrons flowing through it is actually resisting that flow, so it causes heat. And so I want to take that's what I'm investigating. That's what I'm looking into to see if that's what's actually causing these changes. Because otherwise, if it's not a naturally, quote-unquote, naturally occurring phenomenon due to this planetary arrangement, what else is out there? Like I had stated in a previous video, that I believe that the spiritual realm is actually on a different wavelength than the rest of what we would call reality. When in all reality, it is all existent, and it's all real, and it's all exists at the same time, place, etc., just on a different wavelength. So that's what I've been looking into. I haven't it's a really long, slow process because I don't actually have a computer to work with to where I could open multiple tabs and everything. I'm just working with a cell phone. So the data that I have been, the preliminary data that I have found is that it is possible that the electromagnetics of Venus and the electromagnetics of Mars are actually interacting with us in order to cause these changes. There are others that believe that there are other orbs or other planets in the sky that are close to us. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking a look at these magnetic phenomena, and as time progresses, to see if the distance away from us has any change. What I mean is, here recently we came to the closest point to where we're ever going to come to Mars. And the interesting thing about that is we didn't have the 8.2 magnitude earthquake that we had just a few days ago, whenever we are now no longer at the closest point between us and Mars, or even at the closest point between us and Venus. So I find that to be anomalous. So that's basically what I've been doing. Yes, I'm a very spiritual person, and that's what I've been trying to get across to everybody, is that there is no difference between the spiritual realm and the physical one, except for the fact that it exists on a different wavelength. So what I've been trying to prove to myself, prove to everyone else, I guess, is finding the evidence to support that to actually disprove that we're not in the end of days. That's basically what I've been trying, what this is all about, to give an antithesis of the apocalyptic message that's out there. For the most part, like I said, right now I'm completely disregarding prophecy. I'm disregarding anything spiritual and going purely from a physical, in our own particular reality of what we can see. That's why I hate using all these different terminologies, because the spiritual realm is on a different wavelength than our own. But if it is something that we can measure, you see, that's the difference. Because we can't measure, we don't have any scientific instruments to measure the spiritual realm. And even though there have been these ghost hunters will use electromagnetic anomaly detectors in order to be able to determine, where ghosts are located, or spirits, or apparitions, or whatever. And they're calling it pseudoscience. I actually believe that there is a connection. Like I said, because these spirits are actually existing on a different wavelength than our own physical flesh and blood wavelengths. So that's the reason why I kind of stray away from using the term reality loosely. In a lot of the terminology that people seem to use in order to separate the spirit realm from the physical one. So that's basically what I've been doing. I didn't get too discouraged from my criticism on the podcast. It actually caused me to go in a different direction, to steer it in a different direction, because it just seems like a crazy person whenever I'm not crazy. I'm not insane, I'm not a lunatic, but I understand things and see things differently than other people, and so that's what that's what I'm actually been working on. So when I do have findings to post, I do have some evidence to conclude either way of if these phenomenon are caused by other planetary bodies, or, like I said, there is another hypothesis out there that states that there are other actual planet-sized objects or moon-sized objects that are close to us and interacting with us. And so I want to be able to basically take the open-minded approach. I'm not a closed-minded person. I'm a very open-minded person. But I want to be able to take all of this information and draw a conclusion based on the evidence. And so far, from what I have been able to, from my preliminary findings, it's inconclusive. There is one magnetic anomaly that was brought up by a guy by the name of Kool Aid Oh Ya. He had seen on the magnetosphere monitors, which are GOES 13, GOES 14, and comms satellites in space, that there was what appeared to be a magnetic pull on the backside of the Earth when that 8.2 earthquake occurred. So, like I said, I want to be able to, if there is an object there, is it artificial? Is it, like I said, I go throughout the whole realm of possibilities, because if you've heard the Pleiadian message or whatever it is that was come out a few years ago that talked about how the Pleiadians are here and they've got these war planets and blah 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 blah, and that we're actually dealing with another race of what they call Draconian. Is there any truth to that at all? Okay, I personally don't. I really don't like it when people start saying that they're mediums and that they're getting these messages from other beings. Yes, that is possible, but you have to understand that good and evil reside throughout the entire universe. It's not just planet Earth. So if there are other beings that are contacting human beings and saying that they are from Arcturus or Pleiadia or Sirius or whatever, I usually kind of dismiss that. I listen to what they have to say, because there usually is a spirit. In order to be able to lie to you effectively, they have to give you some truth. And like I've stated before, and I will not ever recant my statement, I do have the spirit of truth that resides with me. And so I look for the truth in all things. And if I can find it, if it is there, I hold on to that and wash away all the BS and just completely push that aside. But that's what I've actually been working on these past couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm still in the preliminary stages, and it's a very long and slow process because I only have a phone to work with instead of a computer, to where I could, have multiple browser windows open and be able to cross-reference data at this, simultaneously, instead of just having to write stuff down from one site and flip over to the other and write stuff down from the other, and you get the idea. It's a more painstaking process, but for my preliminary findings, like I said, they're inconclusive right now because I don't have all the data that I need, and I don't have all the data to support anomalies such as these quote-unquote war planets or whatever are supposed to be also entering our solar system. Is it also possible that we have this huge magnetic planet 9 that what astronomers have theorized is out there? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't even seen the data for that. But when I do have some data to have me draw a conclusion, I'll be posting that. It'll probably be just in verbal form. But yeah, that's basically what I've been working on. So remember who you are, and Yahweh loves you, I love you, and Blitz von Himmel's out.